The Supreme Court hearing arguments over whether Donald Trump is immune from prosecution for acts committed in office, including efforts to overturn the 2020 election. Terry Moran starts us off from the court. Good morning, Terry.
Good morning, George. Donald Trump has had several cases come before the Supreme Court before, but this one was different, and you could feel that in the courtroom. This one wasn't just about him, but about the presidency itself and whether presidents can be held accountable like anyone else for their crimes. The Supreme Court justices are now weighing Donald Trump's unprecedented claim that presidents have absolute immunity from criminal prosecution for any actions tied to their official duties.
Without presidential immunity from criminal prosecution, there can be no presidency as we know it.
Trump argues that because of that absolute immunity claim, he cannot be prosecuted by special counsel Jack Smith for his efforts to overturn the 2020 election. The court's decision in this case could significantly delay the special counsel's already stalled trial, even pushing its start past the November election. During the nearly 3 hours of arguments, liberal justices were deeply skeptical. Justice Sonia Sotomayor pressing Trump's lawyer on where his argument could lead.
If the president decides that his rival is a corrupt person and he orders the military or orders someone to assassinate him, is that within his official acts that for which he can get immunity?
It would depend on the hypothetical, but we can see that could well be an official act.
Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson asking if there is no accountability, what would stop a president from, quote, turning the Oval Office into the seat of criminal activity in this country?
If the potential for criminal liability is taken off the table, wouldn't there be a significant risk that future presidents would be emboldened to commit crimes with abandon while they're in office?
But conservative justices, while not fully embracing Trump's argument, made the case that presidents need some protection from criminal prosecution.
Presidents have to make a lot of tough decisions about enforcing the law, and they have to make decisions about questions that are unsettled. Did I understand you to say, well, you know, if he makes a mistake, he makes a mistake. He's subject to the criminal laws just like anybody else? You don't think he's in a peculiarly precarious position?
Much of the argument centered around what constitutes a personal act versus an official act by a president. The justices hinted they might send the whole case back down to the lower court to sort that question out.
You say even if the court were inclined to recognize some immunity for a former president's official acts, it should remand for trial because the indictment alleges substantial private conduct?
Yes.
Not lost on the bench, the stakes of this constitutional moment.
We're writing a rule for the ages.
So it's clear that a majority of the justices do want presidents to have some protection from prosecution, though not as much as Trump wants. And that likely means a complicated opinion, more litigation in the courts below, and an almost certain delay in the trial in this case until after the November election. George?
That does seem clear. Okay, Terry, thanks very much.